Senate is about Nigeria and Nigerians. We probably just set up a committee to rest with the armed forces to look into this issue.
Senate sets up investigative committee over killing of soldiers in Delta State. And the Red Chamber passes student loan bill. Praise President Tinubu for the initiative. A warm welcome to you as you join me on another episode of Inside the Senate, a program that brings you activities from the Red Chamber of the National Assembly and its members. Last week, the Senate held plenary for 2 days on Tuesday 19th and Wednesday 20th of March 2024. Within those 2 days, the Senate attended to several matters, including amending the 2023 supplementary budget to increase its implementation timeline, as well as the passage of the Student Loan Act Amendment Bill. Details of these alongside other reports are lined up on this episode of the program. I am your anchor, Aisha Mohammed Ahmed, urging you to stay tuned as the program unfolds.
We are fighting for this democracy. This country will definitely improve in terms of development and progress.
Nigerians deserve better living.
What is executive and the legislature, they are going to put in their best for a better Nigeria.
Thanks for staying tuned. On Tuesday, 19th March 2024, the Senate, during plenary, passed a bill for and act to amend the 2023 Supplementary Appropriation Act in order to extend the implementation year from 31st March 2024 to June 30th, 2024, and for related matters. 2024, the bill was read for the first and second time on the same day.
The 2023 Appropriation Supplementary Budget passed by the National Assembly, as well as the recent 2023 capital release to NDAs, are unlikely to be utilized before 31st March 2024 due to late releases of the fund, which will lapse if the capital implementation is not extended to 30th June 2024.
According to the Senate leader, who gave the lead argument, it is expedient to grant the extension of the expiration clause to avoid the problem of abandoned projects, given that some of the projects were not provided for in the 2024 budget. Resolving into the Committee of Supply, the Senate considered and approved the relevant clauses of the bill, after which it was read the third time and passed.
Third reading taken and passed.
Let's take a break now to open the Senate notebook. Don't go away.
A public hearing is an interactive session organized by legislative committees on any subject matter for the purpose of sharing ideas, x-raying issues, and resolving conflicts around the subject matter. The matter could be a proposed bill that has killed second reading or a motion referred to committees for more legislative actions. Interested members of the public, along with the stakeholders, may participate in the public hearings, at the end of which reports are compiled by the committees and submitted to the Senate for necessary action.
Welcome back. Inside the Senate continues with a review of motions considered and adopted during the week under review. Among them were motions that dealt with issues of security and education. Details of these and more are contained in our next report coming your way from our studio. Keep watching.
Resulting in the loss of a commanding officer, a lieutenant colonel.
On Tuesday, 19th March 2024, Senator Abdul Aziz Yar-Adua from Katsina Central Senatorial District, under a matter of urgent public importance, moved a motion in respect of the killing of Nigerian Army personnel in Okwoma community of Delta State and the necessity of urgent investigation. The motion was co-sponsored by Senator Ede Dafinone from Delta Central Senatorial District.
troops of 181 Amphibious Battalion, while on a peace mission to Okwama community in Bomadi local government area of Delta State, were surrounded by some community youths and killed on Thursday 14th, 2024.
Senators made contributions to the motion.
If the matter is not carefully handled, it might also lead to a further breakdown of law and order, occasioned by a major humanitarian crisis within the riverine communities of Delta State, and therefore plead with Mr. President, the Defense Headquarters, and the Chief of Defense Staff to please temper justice with mercy and not punish an entire community of Okwama for the sins of a few unscrupulous elements.
The Senate and indeed the National Assembly should also be looking at the direction of reducing our military from conducting police actions and activities.
A situation where this number of soldiers will be killed in one swap is highly regrettable. Soldiers are meant to protect the life and property of our citizenry. And even the communities themselves are supposed to have tolerance in dealing with such issues.
Those stories should be left unturned in trying to find out these culprits, those who are responsible. They must face justice. They must face justice, and this should never happen again in this country.
If people see things and they don't talk, then they will suffer collateral damage. I would have said that we probably just set up a committee to liaise with the armed forces to look into this issue so that we'll be better informed. Because if the military should react, nobody can say you cannot react, because every single culprit involved must be brought out to face the full wrath of the law. So in the course of it, there may be collateral damage. But maybe through our inquiries, if we mix with the communities and try to find out what actually went wrong, we may even assist both parties to reach amicable resolution.
Prayers for the motion were to observe a minute's silence in honor of the slain military personnel, urge the federal government to ensure those responsible for the heinous crime are identified, apprehended, and brought to face the full consequences of their actions through a fair and transparent legal process. Urge the federal government to hasten the recruitment of more police personnel to take up policing responsibilities while the Nigerian Army plays its primary role in the affairs of the country. Urge the federal government to embark on an enlightenment campaign to sensitize the public on their civic responsibilities as it affects their relationship with security agencies. An additional prayer for the motion was to urge the federal government and military authorities to ensure the immediate compensation of the families of the slain soldiers. The motion was voted on and adopted, and a joint Senate Committee on Defense, Army, Navy, Air Force was charged to liaise with the military authorities and obtain first-hand reports on the investigation in respect of the unfortunate incident. At the end, a minute's silence was observed in honor of the slain soldiers.
The cause of carrying out their civic responsibilities rests in perfect peace.
The issue of out-of-school children has become an albatross.
Another motion considered on the floor of the Senate was one moved by Senator Adebule Idiat Oluranti from Lagos West Senatorial District. It was on the compelling need to tackle the challenge of out-of-school children in Nigeria. The mover of the motion noted that the issue of out-of-school children has become worrisome, given the 2022 report of the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, that about 20 million Nigerian children are out of school, which represents 10% of the estimated Nigerian population of 200 million people, and also represents the highest number of out-of-school children from any country globally.
though the Minister of Education disputed the figure, but it's generally agreed that whatever the real figures, the issue of out-of-school children has become an albatross on the neck of the Nigerian state that must be dealt with a matter of urgency.
Prayers for the motion were for the Senate to mandate the Committee on Education, Basic and Secondary, to engage the Federal Ministry of Education with a view to paying special attention to the issue of out-of-school children with the ultimate objective of drastically reducing the number. Urged the Ministry of Education, its related parastatals and agencies, such as the Universal Basic Education stakeholders, including non-governmental organizations, to severally and jointly bring up new strategy to effectively deal with out-of-school children problem, as well as rekindle the national consciousness through sensitization and advocacy on the importance of education to the growth and development of our country and the benefits of having majority educated population. Set a time limit of 2 years for the diligent implementation of the UBE Act as stipulated in Section 2, Subsection 2. Urge government at all levels to implement targeted intervention programs that will address all the factors militating against free access to quality and basic education, particularly multidimensional poverty and insecurity. Equally urge the judiciary in the 36 states of the Federation to take steps towards setting up mobile courts for the enforcement of the UBE Act. The motion was voted on and adopted.
Against the ayes are. Distinguished senators, nationwide Third Bill 2024.
In the week under review, the Senate considered some bills for first reading. They include Labor Act Amendment Bill 2024, sponsored by Senator Banigo Ipalibo Hari, Petroleum Tankers Safety Bill 2024, sponsored by Senator Uba Patrick Ifeanyi, Police Pension Board Establishment Bill 2024, sponsored by Senator Yarobinos Dauda, Nationwide Toll Bill 2024, sponsored by Senator Yar'Adua Abdulaziz Musa, Gender and Equitable Opportunities Bill 2024, sponsored by Senator Adebule Idiat Oluranti. For second reading, the Senate considered the following bills: a bill for an act to amend the Extradition Act Cap E25 laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 to expand the scope of application and for related matters 2024, sponsored by Senator Bamidele Michael Opeyemi; a bill for an act to amend the Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Legal Matters Act 2018 and for related matters 2024, sponsored by Senator Emmanuel Udende; a bill for an act to amend the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022 to enable Nigeria implement targeted financial sanctions relating to terrorism and terrorism financing without delay and for other related matters 2024, sponsored by Senator Emmanuel Udende; a bill for an act to amend the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act number 11 of 2011 to include Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in the surveillance and prevention of money laundering in Nigeria and for related matters 2024, sponsored by Senator Bamidele Michael Opeyemi.
You're still watching Inside the Senate, your reliable window into the activities of the Red Chamber of the National Assembly and its members. The Senate on Wednesday, 20th March 2024, passed the Student Loans Access to Higher Education Act, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2024. This was sequel to the Senate's consideration of the report of the Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TET Fund that considered the bill. The bill seeks to provide easy access to higher education for indigent Nigerians through interest-free loans from the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, established in the Act to provide education for all Nigerians. It was given accelerated hearing by the Senate and referred to the Committee of the Whole for consideration, after which it was passed during plenary.
Third reading taken and passed.
Before its passage, the bill had gone through public hearing on Monday, 18th March 2024. The hearing was organized by a joint National Assembly Committee of Senate Committees on Tertiary Institutions and TED Fund and House Committee on Student Loan, Scholarship and Higher Education Financing. Present at the event were the Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Barrow Jibrin, who represented the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, Ministers of Youth Development, representatives of National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, among others. Declaring the event open, the Deputy Senate President lauded President Tinubu's efforts to give access to funding for students.
I would like to commend Mr. President for the will and the passion he has shown in making sure that he creates a law, creates an institution that will facilitate access to funding for students who do not have the wherewithal to fund their educational goals. He has shown uncommon passion, and he has shown the political will to really work in line with global best practice.
On his part, Chairman of the committee, Senator Muntari Anduze, stressed on the importance of the bill and education to the Nigerian economy.
Because the challenges we are having in Nigeria on educational sector, if this bill is properly deliberated by the critical stakeholders, both the academia, the financial institutions, and the students that are here present, I believe will have a value addition to this country.
In her remarks, Minister of Youth Development Jamila Ibrahim Bayo made some observations on the bill.
We've noticed that the ministry was excluded from vital areas, and it is recommended that the ministry be included as follows in our appeal to the joint committee. The Federal Ministry of Youth Development should be a member of the board. Please refer to page 7 and 8 of the bill. The Federal Ministry of Youth Development is excluded. Only the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Finance are members, executive members of the committee.
Stakeholders, including the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, also had opportunity to comment on the bill. In another committee room, the Joint Committee on Communications played host to the Nigerian Communication Commission. The meeting, which also held on Wednesday, 28th of March 2024, was for the Commission to defend its budget for the year 2024. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Communications, Senator Ikra Bilbis, gave the opening remarks.
I'm assuring the NCC team and the Joint Committee is ready to give the legislative, we are ready to give the legislative support to the Commission to perform its function as a regulator of the communications sector to promote and good service delivery to Nigerians at a competitive price.
Beginning the process, Yakubu Gonto, Director, Financial Services of the NCC, gave a highlight of the 2023 budget performance of the NCC.
Under the revenue profile, we made a budgetary provision of 559 billion and 80 million and 711,000 as total revenue that was projected to be generated by the Commission.
According to Yakubu Gonto, the 2023 budget of the NCC was 559 billion, 80 million, 711,000 naira only, with a performance of 80%. As for the year 2024, the proposed budget of the NCC stands at 549,672,311 naira. There were questions from the lawmakers to the NCC team.
What explains the fact that the projection for the previous year, only a quarter of it took care of the same set of people, and now, 35 billion, which is 3 times more than that, is being projected for the next year. Did you sack some people? Did you do retrenchment, massive retrenchment in 2023?
The figure that we have here was as at the half year, the 10 billion. But as at the end of the year, from the budget performance report, our salaries had gone up to 32.9 billion. Because we usually project based on our actual staff strength, projected staff strength, promotions, and things like that.
I still don't understand why you cannot ensure that we have one emergency number nationally. It could be 222 or 111. Or look, let me tell you, when people are faced with emergency, nobody remembers 080 or to call any other number other than. But if you have those 3 digits nationally, it will save so many lives.
So, like I said, we do have a national number, which is 112, and we have an emergency dispatch center in every state of the Federation, including the FCT.
After all questions were exhausted, the committee went ahead to approve the 2024 budget of the NCC for passage. Up next is our profile segment. Stay tuned as we present to you our Senator of the Week.
Senator Sunday Marshall Katung represents Kaduna South Senatorial District in the 10th Senate on the platform of the People's Democratic Party. He was born on 1st of April 1961 in Madakia, Zangon local government area of Kaduna State. He attended Kufena College, Usasa Zaria from 1975 to 1980, then proceeded to the College of Arts and Science, Zaria from 1980 to 1982. He proceeded to the University of Lagos, Akoka from 1982 to 1986, where he studied law. He was at the Nigerian Law School, Victoria Island, Lagos from 1986 to 1987. He then obtained a postgraduate diploma in management in the year 2000 and a master's degree in business administration from the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria in 2005. He also has an advanced diploma certificate in legal drafting and conveyancing, which he obtained from the Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, Akoka, Lagos. Among the several courses he attended are courses on Public Enterprise Restructuring at the International Law Institute, Washington, D.C., United States, Post-Privatization, Managing the Challenge, International Law Institute, Washington, D.C., United States, Company Secretaries and Corporate Legal Advisors course at the Management School, London, United Kingdom, National Seminar on Company Law and Practice and Corporate Administration by Amit Consultancy Services Limited, Negotiation of International Contracts by Potomac Workshops, Legal and Financial Aspects of Pension Scheme and Trust Management by Lord Salisbury Chambers and Library. Senator Sunday Marshall Katung has served as Commissioner of Water Resources and of Finance, Kaduna State from 2010 to 2011, Company Secretary and Legal Advisor to Nigeria Reinsurance Corporation, and Solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. He also served as a member of Federal House of Representatives representing Jaba Zangonkata Federal Constituency of Kaduna State from 2015 to 2019. In 2018, he emerged as the running mate for the People's Democratic Party (PDP) Kaduna State Governorship aspirant Honorable Isa Ashiru. He ran for the seat of Senator in February 2023 elections and won. His legislative interests include agriculture, health and security, community development, and human rights. Senator Sunday Marshall Katung is married to Nigerian British Councillor Abigail Marshall Katung, the current Lord Mayor of Leeds, United Kingdom.
The Senate has adjourned plenary to give room for the religious festivals of Easter and the Eid al-Fitr. It is scheduled to resume on the 16th of April 2024. Here is wishing our lawmakers and indeed all Nigerians a joyous period of celebrations. Feel free to follow us on YouTube and Facebook for more updates on activities of the Red Chamber and its members. Thanks for watching and see you next week.